best way to get rid of plantar fasciitis and keep it from coming back is to build a strong foundation at the bottom of your foot. In my last video, I explained why strengthening the muscles at the bottom of the foot is vitally important for keeping your heel pain away for good. But the benefits don't stop there. By strengthening your intrinsic foot muscles, you are increasing the capacity of your plantar fascia to handle greater loads. This means you can stand or you can walk for longer periods of time without pain and reach your activity goals without injuring your foot. Now today we're going to get practical. If you're tired of the temporary fixes and you're ready to build that stronger bridge from the ground up, you're in the right place. I'm going to walk you through my top 4 exercises specifically designed to strengthen those intrinsic muscles on your feet. These are those little powerhouse muscles that support your arch, and they're your best defense against plantar fasciitis. We're going to be covering number 1, toe curls, 2, toe yoga, 3, single leg balance, and 4, foot doing. All right, you ready to build stronger, more resilient feet? Let's get to it. All right, just as a quick reminder, plantar fasciitis often occurs when the load in your foot exceeds its capacity. Well, things like rest, orthotics, medication, and stretching can help reduce that load temporarily. They don't fundamentally change your foot's ability to handle stress. That's where these intrinsic foot strengthening exercises really come into play. By targeting these small but vital muscles, we can increase your foot's capacity to make it more robust and less prone to injury. Think of it as upgrading that bridge from wood to reinforced steel. All right, let's start with toe curls. So you're going to sit in a chair with your feet flat on the floor. Now you want to curl your toes and try to imagine grabbing something with your toes as you curl them. Then you want to relax your toes and spread and extend your toes. You're going to repeat this 10 times, and you're going to do 3 sets of 10 reps. Now, if this is a little too boring for you, there's a couple variations of this exercise you can try. Towel grabs and marble pickups. So for the towel grab, you're going to do the same exercise, but you're going to sit in a chair with your feet flat on the ground. You're going to place a small towel under your feet. You're going to keep your heel down, and you're going to use your toes to scrunch that towel towards you. And you want to focus on curling at the main knuckle joint of your toes, not just at the tips. Once you've gathered up the towel, you can push it back out and repeat this, and do this 10 times for 3 reps. Now, marble pickups is another variation. You can place a handful of marbles or other small objects on the floor next to a small bowl. Now, using your toes, pick up 1 marble at a time and then drop it into the bowl. The idea here is you want to try to recreate that arch as you curl. You want to avoid just moving the tips of your toes. You want to initiate the movement from the base of your toes. Now, important safety tip, make sure you pick up all the marbles when you're done. Get them off the floor because you don't want to slip on them and fall. You want to do 10 repetitions, 2 to 3 sets max. Now, next we're going to go on to do some toe yoga. Now, this is an exercise that really isn't about intense stretching, but it's more about improving the coordination and the control of the individual little muscles that control your toes. Now, with this exercise, you're going to start with big toe lifts. You're going to keep the 4 smaller toes flat on the ground. You're going to try to lift up only your big toe toward the ceiling. You want to hold it for a few seconds and then lower it. Now, if you're like me, you may not independently be able to lift up that great toe without lifting up your little toes. This is normal in a lot of people. These muscles have not been activated independently for years. So one way to get around this with the exercise is still work those individual muscle groups is to use your other foot to hold down the 4 toes while you elevate the great toe and do the exercise that way. With time, and hopefully I'll get there too, I can move these toes independently. Now for the small toe lifts. Now keep your big toe pressed gently against the ground and lift up the 4 smaller toes. Hold this for a few seconds, then repeat. Again, you can hold the big toe down with your other foot while you elevate the small toes if you can't independently control these muscles. You want to do about 10 repetitions of each movement and then do 2 to 3 overall sets. So if you've gotten value out of this video so far, I want you to hit that like button. I want you to go ahead and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on future videos. And if you know someone who could benefit from this video, please share it with a friend. Next is single leg balance. While this seems super simple, this is an incredibly effective exercise. When you balance on one leg, all those small intrinsic muscles in your foot have to work overtime to keep you stable. It's going to help maintain your arch. It's going to control your posture from the ground up. Here's how to do it. You want to stand near a wall or a chair for support if you need it. You slowly shift your weight onto one leg, lifting the other foot slightly off the ground. You want to try to maintain a stable arch on your standing foot and don't let it collapse inwards. You also don't want to excessively grip with your toes. Your foot should feel very active but not tense. You want to keep your gaze fixed at a point in front of you, as this is going to help you with your balance. You want to start this exercise by holding this stance for 15 to 30 seconds. Now, as you get better, try closing your eyes. This is going to make it much harder to do. You also can progress this standing onto a slightly unstable surface like a folded towel or a cushion, which can really help increase your balance, but don't do this until you've gotten better at it. You want to aim for 2 to 3 overall repetitions of 30 to 60 seconds per leg. Now, the last exercise, which certainly isn't the least, is foot doming. Now, this has many names for this exercise: foot doming, arch lifts, short foot exercise. So this exercise is a really important exercise to strengthen those deeper muscle groups at the bottom of your foot, just above your plantar fascia. Now, this exercise is a little challenging to perform, but with practice, you can master this. And of all the 4 exercises, this one really can yield some great benefits. So like the other exercises, you want to start off by sitting in a chair with this exercise. You want your feet flat on the floor. I would do this on a slicker floor, not carpeted floor, as it's going to be easier. And then without curling your toes or lifting your heel, you want to try to imagine shortening your foot by drawing the ball of your foot. That's the area behind the toes, kind of at what we call the knuckle. And you want to draw that back toward your heel. When you do this, you should be creating a small dome or slightly lifting your arch. You want to think of this as you're trying to make your foot a little bit shorter, or you can imagine you're trying to suck up your arch off the ground a little bit. So you want to hold this contraction for about 5 to 10 seconds and then relax. Often you're going to feel your foot kind of cramp up a little bit if you do this correctly. Now, this is a small but very controlled movement. You shouldn't be crunching your toes. Your toes shouldn't even be flexing. They should remain flat and relaxed. This movement comes from the midfoot, not the toes and not the ankle. This one's going to take some practice to feel like you've done it correctly. But be patient. Mastering this exercise is definitely going to really help your foot strength, and it's going to help with plantar fasciitis and even other problems in your foot that you may have had. So here's a tip to do the foot doming exercise to make it a bit easier. Find a slick surface. This is bathroom floor. And then get a bath mat. You can see how it's slicker on the bottom, but it's grippy on top. Now, as I do my foot doming, we're going to see that bath mat is going to dome up as well and curl up a bit. Your dome, you can see that bath mat is curled up as I'm in that dome position. You want to do about 10 repetitions of this exercise, holding each contraction, and then do overall 2 to 3 sets. So there you have it, 4 fantastic exercises to build those intrinsic foot muscles in your feet. Now, how do you fit these in? You can do them all together as a dedicated foot workout a couple times a week, or you can pick 1 or 2 of these and do them daily. Now, the most important thing is being consistent with these. Just like any other strength training, you won't build that stronger bridge overnight. But with regular, consistent effort, you're going to gradually increase your foot's capacity, which is going to make it more resilient to stresses that go through the foot and can lead to plantar fasciitis.